Hello, boys and girls. Shart Show is good fun. Because that fits that fast. Look at the 125. We can play around. How's it going, Christine? Hey, Nathan. How's the headset doing? Jeff B. Plays too much. Best ways much. Need better control on that. Alright, so I'm testing out a new headset. How is the audio doing? That's good. At some point I'll have to do a guest pop-up and see how it does for that. This is the 125. It's breaking in pretty good. I made some more plants. Get CO2 on it. I think she's settled in and stable enough now that I can probably add the CO2. I do want to add an external filter that runs the length of it, for just about, and use it as like a return from here to this end, and a little waterfall up the end. Hey, Henry. Alright. Yeah, I don't think this has a noise cancellation on it. If it does, I don't know how to use it yet. Unless it's not using the proper light. It's possible. So let me know if you can hear me tapping. Tapping on that. Take this out. Alright, so I don't know if this here, microphone's going to do what I want it to do. I'm not going to touch. How's that? Don't work that either. this change or anything. Yay, nay. Yes, no. I think that silence is a no. Alright, give me a second. Alright, this might pause me while I'm getting this set up. How's replay for? Alright, can you hear me better? Is it all more gooder? Alright. Headset's a no-go. At least not on my own live. So we're back to the Lark mic, and that should be sent down, or sound deadening pretty good. So all the crap I was saying earlier, this is the 125. It's settling in pretty good. It needs to get the CO2 put on it. How's it going, Alan? Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Use a few more plants. I could probably use a second light, but we'll see how that goes once I get some CO2 on it. Up across the back there, I'm going to run an external homemade filter. It's going to be planted with some terrestrial type plants or bog plants. Hey, Sarah. That's going to be the supply to the external filter, and it's going to fall back in over by the log there, or the stump. Currently, it's running a canister with a experimental under gravel dirted filter of sorts. Yeah, no. This isn't going to be an extremely long stream. I just kind of wanted to test a little bit. It's been a long time since I got on, so nobody else was up. Figured, what the hell. I wonder if those Pictus cat are fighting for dominance, or if they're wanting to spawn. That would be sweet if they wanted to spawn. But they are getting all jiggy with it down over yonders. Thanks, Christine. This is going to be my only pretty tank, too. The rest of them are going to be pretty well, more useful tanks. We'll have plants in them, but it's going to be more for water purities and comfort levels. Yeah, the pictures are sweet. That dark guy is a turquoise Severum. They get kind of big. Like, not quite discus size, but they get pretty thick. Like a bluegill or a sunfish. There's two of the turquoise, one red shoulder, and I think I might be down to one gold. I haven't seen the other one tonight, so they might have killed it. And if they did, there are 6 not so mini Ranger plecos in there, and 1 L173 false zebra pleco, 2 or 3 L173B false zebra plecos, and I believe 1 L236. They gobble up pretty much anything on the ground. Then there's some of my like call angels, and where'd he go? Right back. I can't see. Right in there. There's a little ball swimming around. He's my ping pong ball. Hey, Brina. That's what I'm trying to do. My phone is doing things I don't want it to do. There we go. There. That should be better. Where was I? A little ping pong ball guy. There's also a blue polar cichlid. He usually hangs out on the other side of the tank. There are 4 of the right here. That is a pike cichlid. Unknown species at this time. So I'm hoping it's one of the 10-inch or smaller ones. Yeah, there's a lot of kinds of fish. That's one of my mud angels. Those 2 plecos that you see are both of, are 2 of 6 not so many Ranger plecos. Anybody else in that shot? I don't see him right now. There are 2, I'll dump some food in there, make them come out a little bit better. There's 2 Cenodonis cats in there. They hang out over by the Pictus cat area. That's the red shoulder Severum. There are 2 rope fish hanging out in there somewhere. Yeah, there's one of them right back there. I like the spotted Pictus cat because it's easier to keep in my water. I have very soft water. I think the spotted Pictus is technically smaller. Yeah, there's a lot. Thanks, Adele. So this isn't what this tank was meant to be. It was meant to be the Oscar tank, but the Oscars became too big of assholes with each other, so they had to go away. Because, yeah, it was going to be too much with them beating each other up, and I couldn't give up more than one tank for them. Little Mr. Rope's out. The striped guy is a zebra obliquidin. He survived my angelfish tank. Looks like we got 2 ropefish out now. And then the plain silver guy is a silver dollar. He's all by himself. I need to get another one. At least one more, if not 3. I think they'd be fun to spawn once. We'll see. If he does good for me, I'll look for some more. But for the most part, these guys are all kind of stand your ground type fish. So they work okay together. If I start bumping up the temperature, they might start getting more territorial. But right now it's running 80 degrees in the tank, so they're okay-ish. I think at 85 they'd probably get pretty spunky. Hey Craig. This is a 125 Sarah. So it's a 6-foot tank. They tend to have more personality, I think. More personable. There's not so many ranger playcoats are getting damn big though. I also want to get 3 more red-tailed sharks because I really like red-tailed sharks. And so far they're working out really good in this tank. We'll see once they get some size on them if it stays that way or not. I like it. I wish it was done. But, yeah, winter's here. Nice Craig. But I want to get CO2 on this, get some more crypts going in it. Some smaller species of crypts preferably. I think it's still like 22 out right now, Henry. I think it's starting to snow and stuff. That's why I did the water changes on the quarries. So they're all shut down for the night. But I did that whole rack plus it actually ended up being 5 other tanks that I also got done. I got about 20 done in about 2 hours, and then the other 5 in about the other half hour, I'd say. I also pulled eggs during that time, so I wasn't, 100% changing water the whole time. But the water change system, which is manual, but it's still going pretty good. Fills fast, drains fast. Yeah, they've always been one of my favorites. I know that you have to have hormones to spawn them, or at least that's what everybody says. It's possibly true. Maybe I can find the right fish to spawn it with, because I'm sure that there's some fish that spawns and it triggers their spawn. That's okay, Henry. I need to reseal it again once I get it all balanced back out. And I've come up with a drain system for it, so if it does happen again, it's not going to be an issue for me. Yeah, should be okay. Kind of looks like the adult boy want to spawn. Or which ones are they? Oh, I'm sorry, that's the pandas. Of course they want to spawn. Pandas always want to spawn. Hey, Melvin. Thanks, Brianna. I appreciate that. But yeah, this will be the pretty tank. The other ones will be the spawn and grows holding tanks. The 90 is going to be a goldfish holding tank. And one of the 75s will be other species holding tank. Then 340s will be grow ups. 175 will be grow up. And most of the 10s I think are going to be small species holding tanks. And then I'm going to have for sure 12. I'm going to try to get 18 5 gallons above that 75. Because I really need more tanks. And if I have 18, that's almost as many species as I can hold in one rack. So I can spawn them in those 5s. And then put them back in one of the 10s for their normal staging tank. Why does it take you a week, Henry? It's probably because you play on your phone too much, isn't it? So, Henry, when are you going to start showing off some more of your tanks? I think everybody's ready for a live tour. On somebody's channel, at least. Adele, if you're still lurking out there, if you do decide to get Pictuscat, your big tank would be fine for them, but I do recommend getting like 6 of them. They'll do better for you. Most of my things are wrecked then. There, Sarah. Yeah. Fortunately, I don't have to prep my water. It's kind of nice. Working with 99% soft water fish. So it just goes straight from my well to the tank. I believe so, Jeff. I don't know how yet. I haven't looked it up. But if I can figure it out, I do want to try. Because I do like that catfish. They're reasonable size for the vast majority of people to be able to keep. They're active and attractive. So if I can, I do want to breed them. if nothing else, just at least once. I know they're looking pretty Pugsley, that's for sure. Maybe I'm getting lucky and they're filling with eggs and they're not just chili from eating. They are. You know, Henry could always be just a guest on somebody's stream like Mexicali's or Kyle's with Outside In, you know, for it's kind of like a rundown, get to know you type live stream. And then you can always pop up on Jeff P's or maybe on Vibes Aquatics and show your tanks off a little bit. Dork. I'm not set up for having a guest right now. Unless I do a go live with when we use the YouTube platform. Go live with I don't really care for much because you're streaming on 2 channels, so the chats are split, and I don't like the split chat. If I have to one day I will, but it's not my preferred way of doing it. Hey, Sunfish. Yeah. I've been bugging them for years, Jeff. I really wonder if that isn't spawning behavior. I might have to look into the Pick This Cat and see how they spawn. That wouldn't surprise me. They're getting awful darn feisty over there. I think I'm going to do a half log PVC down across the front here. That way the probably split it into 2 sections so the ropefish can go in it and maybe the Pictus cat will utilize it. Yeah, Lady Diane's I think she's not been feeling good. She's been in LRB streams occasionally, and I usually see her in the Massey Aquarium Society channel when they do a live stream for the club. How thick, Henry? Yeah, I think that's LRB's and that Massey is the only place I've really been seeing Lady Diane. Is that going to be reinforced, Henry? Because otherwise that's not going to be enough. You'll want a 6-inch slab. If it's fiberglass reinforced with rebar, then it might be okay. But if it's just straight up concrete, it's going to crack on you pretty bad. Yeah. I still think it's going to crack though. If it's not got the fiberglass reinforcement in it, the fiber, yeah. It might be okay. How tall is the ceiling going to be? Are you going to do an 8-foot ceiling like a normal person? Or maybe a 9-foot? Or are you going to do a 16-foot? Okay. So 8 feet. You figure, build a rack. Not build it, but math out the rack. How many tanks your rack's going to hold. Then figure in the substrate weight and the water weight. And add 5 pounds to each tank. And then go to that, or take that information to the concrete guy and tell him that the rack's going to be 4 foot by 2 foot, and this is how much weight it's going to hold in total. And he should be able to give you a better idea as to whether or not the 4 inches will actually be good for you. I'm short, so 8 foot would be more than plenty for me. 9 foot is just more to heat and more to cool. 7 foot is a little bit short. If I had 7.5, it'd be better. And it's not that I'm tall, but when I get on the ladder to reach into the top tanks, it's a little bit tight. Yeah, just chat with them, Henry. You might not need to. It just it'd be better to get their opinion on it, and if you explain what exactly you're going to do with it. Because I'd hate to see you do it and then split the concrete and be pissed off about it. Yeah, I like 7. 8 foot would be nice for the tank, so. But heating wise, 7's better. I had some algae wafer somewhere. Dog stole them, and now I don't remember what I did with them. You think I never fed him? Hey, Ben. See, if I had 20-foot ceilings, I would put a second level in it. Yeah. I don't know if I want 9-foots. Because I can feed all my tanks from the floor, but if I need to work in them, then I gotta get on a ladder, and that's not so bad. But if you have to get on the ladder to feed your tanks every single day, or to do water changes on them every single time, that's a recipe for neglect. Especially when you get as many tanks as you have. You don't right now, but you will. When you get sick, you can't work. Everybody gets sick at some point in time. So, for anybody that doesn't know Barina, she's in Africa. She does some nature stuff, and she goes out catching fish. She has caught some wild African cichlids. She doesn't want to cost them a lot, but she has caught some other dishes and stuff. It's pretty cool. If you get a chance, I recommend you check out her channel. You can reach 9 foot without a ladder, Henry? But she does do a lot of fishing and catches some neat little catfish and some barbs and some other fish I'm not familiar with. Yeah, the top of my tank, the highest is 76. So if you're 78, you don't need any more than an 8-foot ceiling. That's still plenty of room to work in the top tank. Yeah, maybe. Personally, I wouldn't do a ceiling fan. I do a wall mount oscillating fan in a couple of places. And the lights I would do recessed. LED recessed lights. So, yeah, no, oscillating fans, not the ceiling fan. Oscillating moves the air better than ceiling fans do. Yeah, I'll send you a picture of it later there, Henry. Everybody's trying to show a little bit of dominance. Really? Thanks for short, Henry. What are you doing with all that extra space up there? Yeah. She has some really good nature stuff. I found her a while ago. I believe I shared her on my community page a while back. Oh, Henry, I'm 5'8". So I'm shorter than you, and my racks are taller than yours. How does that work? Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. I think it's been a while since she's put anything out. I think it's been a month or so since I've seen anything. Things get lost on me though, because I get a lot of notifications. But sometimes it takes me a while to re-find them. Not on purpose, it's just, yeah. My internet's always on, so as notifications come through, they start bumping out the new or the oldest ones. A little frustrating, but is what it is. Yeah, I wish I had a top shelf for storage. I would love to. So, Brianna, eventually, our nice little sketty Nona there is going to be one of my co-hosts for a while. Once I finally have something along the lines of StreamYard to do it with. It's definitely the most aggressive I've ever seen us pick this cat be. They gotta be in baby making mood. If I did a big water change on there, they'd probably squirt eggs everywhere. It's okay. If I'm painting or working in a tank, I need a chatty co-host to read the chat to me. Those Synodontis are dark. One of them is almost pure black. It'd be sweet if I actually got a male and a female and I can spawn them. But they're the only two Synodontis that have ever lived for me longer than about a week. The water's a little bit soft for them. Well, what do you have, Henry? Usually that's where you want to start. That's fired up pretty good. And what kind of fish do you want to work with? You want to work with big fish, you need big tanks. You want to work with little fish, you can use littler tanks. Still need good sized grow outs. If you want to work with rainbows, if you could set up a 125 for grow outs on rainbows, that would be ideal because you'll get better growth out of them, especially if you do daily water changes on them. Fast growth needs lots of food and lots of water changes. If you want to slow the growth, you slow the food and you slow the water changes. The hormones slow each other down. Yeah, I have the same problem, Henry. So I have 20 tanks dedicated to Corridoras, and I have 20 tanks, or actually not even. I have 20 tanks dedicated to egg-laying fish. I'm going to have 16 tanks dedicated to plecos and live bearers because they're going to share. Well, not exactly. Some of them, the ones with bristle nose in them, will get live bearers, and the ones with my L numbers, the zebras, the 173s, the 134s, the 297s, the 397s. All those guys will get an egg-laying fish with them. That way the egg layers can do their thing and the plecos can eat the eggs. So it'll help with growth and help with spawning. Oh, nice, Sarah. I picked up 3 myself, 1 male and 2 females, because I only had 1 male, and I didn't want 10 females. Well, it depends on the size of the tanks, Henry, and the size of the space, and how much room you need between your aisles. My end goal is around 300 to 400 tanks when I'm all done, but in this space, it's going to be somewhere between 80 and 100 when I'm done. Then once I actually start selling a decent amount of fish and start banking the money, then that money is going to go into savings, and it's either going to get used for a whole house generator, which is the wisest way to go with the money first, and then after that an expansion, which would be 16 feet by, I think it's going to be 16 feet by 50 feet is going to be the expansion. And that will require a slab, in-floor heat, plumbing, because it'll have to have its own toilet. And then after that, I'll figure out what my layout of the floor is with all that stuff in it. And kind of figure out the racking from there. I would love to be able to set it up to be able to do 40 breeders on end. Is that for breeding purposes, not for catching purposes. Yeah, Aquafunk. How's it going, man? do still have a few species that I don't have yet that I want to get eventually, but I might have to slide some out to bring more in. We'll see how that goes. With a couple staging tanks, though, I think I'll be okay. So the whole reason I popped up tonight was to test out a headset that ended up not doing what I needed it to do. So I'm gonna have to play around with it and try to figure out how to turn on its noise deadening system. Yeah, that's okay, Brianna. Mr. Aquafunk. If you have some free time sometime, you should check out some of Brianna's content. She's got some really cool African stuff with some wild caught native to her fish. Some barbs, some cichlids, some catfish, some nature hikes, some river fishing, some ditch fishing. And Brianna, the ditch fishing is my favorite, so you know. The little shallow creeks and the ditches. But if you're into African fish, she definitely has access to some of them at least. I'm sure she doesn't have access to all of them, but the few that I seen were pretty cool. Even though I'm not an African cichlid fan, they were still pretty cool. Someday I need to find Brianna's South American counterpart. Because I did find a young couple in Australia that does similar things where they go out and fish and catch rhinocentris and what's the other one? I think it was shoot, I can't think of it. Another rainbow, and then they catch gudgeons. Scarlet rainbow, I think it is. But I don't remember the name of the creek that he fishes out of. I really wish that I could. Yeah, I don't do Facebook anymore, Jeff. I just have it for people to contact me, really. I'm going to send Adonis's up. It's not the darkest one. I don't even like Messenger. I suspended my original account, but it didn't suspend Messenger, so I ended up getting pissed off and just deleting the whole crap. Kind of wish I wouldn't have, but I did, so it's what it is. There's just a lot of lost pictures. Yeah. Might be annoyed, Henry. end up finishing your room that you were working on, Sarah? Yeah. I really need to get the CO2 on this. Get the Kamamba to thicken up. Get it back to purple again. Help kickstart that crypt a little bit. And the sword. How are my wine? All my tortoises? They're doing good. Moved them into the new enclosure, and the little male decided that it's time to mate again, so he's been chasing her around quite a bit. Once they get stabilized in there, he'll let her be again. He's kind of seasonal on that. He goes after her hard, and then leaves her alone for a couple months. I'm not familiar with your seasons, Brianna, but I know it probably gets too hot there at times. But when you got your wet seasons or whatever, as that's tapering off, you can hit some ditches. That'd be cool. So are you still out there, Mr. Aquafunk? Probably snuck off. Next build on the list is going to be probably the 40 breeder rack. And I'll probably do the 75 rack at the same time. The 40 breeder rack is semi-fixed. And the 75 is more up in the air. Silver Dollar's playing keep away with the pike cichlid. Well, it's too big for his mouth. I think it's too big for the pike cichlid's belly. Yeah, that 40 rack is for sure. I got the wood to do that. The 75 rack, I'm short on the wood. But I also have to math it out so I can maximize the tanks on it. I really want to squeeze 18 on it for 5 gallons. I think it would be extremely beneficial for me. Because then when plecos have eggs, I can pull the whole cave, plop it in one of the 5 gallons, let them hatch them out. and put the dad back in his home when he's done. Rainbow mops, I can just pull them and pop them in there. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, then like an egg scatter in those tanks. Can hatch cories in those tanks. Yeah, when everything gets big enough to be in a bigger tank, they can drop down to the 75 or one of the 40s. I'm not working with them, or I'm trying to grow them out. It'll give them space to grow faster and make water changes a little bit more manageable for overstocking. Yeah, it was up to me regardless. Um, she was just hoping I'd leave it open for the viewing of the 125 instead. For the most part, if I'm over on this side or I'm on the other side, like over here, I'll be able to still see the whole thing. I just won't be able to sit directly in front of it. So it'll be an angle from one side or the other, but I'll still be able to view the whole thing. I can record the whole thing, but it'll be on an angle. So it won't be a direct on like it is right now. Because, was it, pretty much like, right there is going to be a tank rack. Yeah, if I cut a whole tree down, it's going to get turned into boards to build an addition. But I got 3 that need to come down before I can do the addition, because they're where the addition is going to go. Also, if they come down, they will totally take out the fish room, 100%. And they're big old white pines. A lot of dancing cories tonight. Hopefully if anybody drops eggs, they leave them for me until I get home from work tomorrow. Yeah. All right. Good night, Jeffy. Thanks for stopping by. not gonna go on too much longer here, so I need to get some sleep too. I'll give it about another 10 minutes and then I'll head out. Yeah, I really don't have days off, Henry. Good night, Christy. The only time I have weekdays off is if it's a holiday. I might, maybe. And then vacation. And I only do vacation in the summer. I don't waste it on winter days. Winter days are the work and make money days. So, that, where is he? My finger. Right, there we go. The Pleco right behind there, that's a L236. I do not like that type of Pleco. Yeah, I don't think Ben wants to work for me there, Henry. If you get the L236, I do highly encourage you to get the RB Super White, not the regular RBs. It's not my kind of fish. I need to get some koi angels. Red devils would be ideal, but I need some more color in this tank. Alright, good night, Sarah. Hey, Bob, how's it going? Oh, that's a, damn it, I know it. Zebra obliquatum is what that guy is. He does very much look like a native perch, though. And as big as his mouth is, he actually doesn't screw with stuff too badly. That would be a, they would refer to it as a, what is it? Violet seal point is how they would label it. That's from the smudge spot clown parents. That's one of what some of their offspring turn out to be. All the lighter colored fish in here are their offspring. The two dark fish are from my black marbles, the original pair that I had. These guys just got beat up really bad by a puffer. The blue is really sweet though. I like that blue on those seal points. It's just the rest of their body color sucks. And I sent Juanita two of their siblings that were almost pure white, just the faintest hint of orange on them, and a little bit of violet. Hey, Davo. George RB3, how's it going, sir? Yeah, they're not a strong line of seal point. They're not something that I would breed on purpose. Thanks for stopping in, Brianna. Arena. I'm getting sleepy. Were you on tonight, Bob? 'Cause I didn't get a notification either. If I would have seen you were on, I would have stopped by and hung out by you instead. Alright, you have a good day. Okay. I do my best not to go on somebody else's streaming, but many people stream nowadays, it's kind of hard. Sunday's usually my most ideal day to stream. It's the most reliably open. Nice. Alright, have a good night, Henry. I won't be too far behind you. Do you know where it's native to, Bob? I know I've got some native water snakes, but I don't know what their names are. 'Cause I didn't see them a lot as a kid, so I never really ran across them to research them when I was interested in that kind of stuff. Tell him, Ben. Alright, so it might be one that comes up by me then. Let's see, where's he at? That one? That one's a zebra obliquidin. He does have a very similar color to a perch. I don't have everything in here. I can still fit a kitchen sink. Zebra obliquidin is an African fish. It doesn't belong in here. But really, the rope fish and the Semidonis don't really belong either. So I accidentally bought. Yeah, it's a Victorian, and it's also on the cures list too. I accidentally bought them during the ACA auction because all I could hear was zebra, and I wanted a zebra acara, and I wanted a zebra plecto. I didn't know zebra obliquidins were a thing, so I was okay with it being either one or the other two. And then I got them and found out it was an obliquidin. So I kept them for a little bit, did the QT thing for them, and then I gave them to Foxy. Well, they spawned a few times, and I thought I caught every one of them out. Apparently there was a fry that survived in the angel tank, and that's him. And he was a dickhead, so I put him in with the Oscars for a long time. Now I don't got the Oscars no more, so he's in this community tank of semi-aggressive fishes. But he's behaving himself. He's territorial to a point, but he doesn't have anybody to spawn with, so I think it stays okay. But basically, yeah. Hey, Andrew. Um, yeah, the Oscars had to go June. They beat each other up too bad, and then I can't afford 2 Oscar tanks. I could only afford one of them. But one of them beat one of them almost to the point of death, and then it nursed it back to health just to do it again. So I'm assuming that they were both males and fighting for territory in the tank. That was, yeah. So they went to a bigger place. Oh, really? About damn time. When are you gonna finally get Whiskers a mate? For the time being, though, it'll be better without Oscars. Once I can finally expand, then it'll be a little bit different. They'll be able to set up an actual, like, wood pond for them with a glass viewing port on it. Similar to what Aquarium Domain makes. Because I do eventually want to make some wooden tanks. And they're going to be large display tanks, not sell out of tanks. But I'd love to have a school of Oscars in it. Just not right now. I'm not equipped enough for it. Nice. Have to check it out. Yeah, I will again. I need to get this set up, start making money at it to be able to afford to expand it. And when I can expand it, then I really want to spawn Oscars at least once. Yeah, I had one fish jump out of this 125 now. It was a Severum. He jumped and everybody else decided that they didn't want to. It's extremely unlikely that I'll ever get a wild Oscar again, though, I'll tell you that. It will probably be a super red longfin, honestly. I really love the look of Shadow. Shadow's a really pretty fish. And probably, every time they try to jump, they probably bop them. But I need more red tails so I can get them to school a little. I also need another golf ball. Probably like 2 more golf balls. One of the polar blues and one of the white, whatever they call it, pearl whites. They're not pretty enough, is why. You can always sell a baby tiger Oscar or a baby red Oscar. But the markings on the wilds, the color's too drab. For like a true Oscar person, they would love it. But for your average hobbyist that buy most of the fish, they wouldn't really much care for it. I really need more red tails. Yeah, it's something I'll probably have to pick out in person or go to a really reputable breeder or supplier. Yeah, I ran out of those pills funk, so my chemical balance is going to get out of whack here. If I'm a dickhead the next few days, that's why. Really need to get a hold of the pharmacy and get some on order. Eventually, once these guys get some more size on them, I need to find out what line of pikes to put those are. No, I did, Sarah. They sent me a notice, and I ignored the text a while back. I just silenced it and forgot about it. Yeah, they are what they are. Mine are to help me quit smoking, but when I run out, my chemical balance gets really fucked up for a while. Hey, Alex. Mr. Alex, at some point I need to chat with you about 3D printing stuff and how to, I guess, draw up plans and that kind of crap, or a program that's reasonably semi-easy to use. Alright, sounds good. Are you working second shifts or first shifts? I don't know. It's, I don't know. Maybe, what month are we? We're in December. Somewhere between September and October, I think is when I got it up. The sand was mostly new. The dirt mix was mostly new. I did use some used dirt and some used rock and some used sand, and then also some like older substrates with fluval stratums and that kind of stuff in it. It's been in long enough that the Tiger Lotus has settled in. The so all these plants were my plants. They were not new plants. They were from my other tanks. Um, so they transitioned fairly well. I Punks has been popping up in my short speeds. But that's about it. His notifications haven't been getting pushed out much. I really wish the zoom worked a little bit nicer on these pinch and slide combs. Yeah, I think there was sometime after I made this one, there was a talk given by a Corey guy who said that everybody that does a tank does it wrong because they don't have enough different sizes in their substrates. And this is like a natural river here. You get the nice soft sand in spots, and then you get piles of rocks, piles of boulders. Yeah, it does. If you look through my photo file on it, I shared it on Discord, and I think I shared it on Empire Dirt Aquatics on Facebook. You can see how I laid out the substrate on this one, because it's got a dirted under gravel system in it. So the supply and the returner on this side, and that back pipe is the under gravel. Runs down, and then it branches out from there, and then it runs all the way down to the rock pile on that side. There's rock underneath, and then it's got the landscape mat, then a little bit of sand, and then dirt, and then a little bit of sand, and then gravel, and then a lot of sand, and then more gravel. And that's to keep the bigger plecos from digging all the way down to the dirt. That the rock layer is extremely important. But the other tanks that I did this with, they did fairly well. I learned some flaws in them, so I think I got them corrected in this one, because that rock's all huge. So the detritus and stuff that gets, like on my aerated ones, it would get clogged over time. But with the canister on this one, thanks Alex, it should stay clear. And if it doesn't, back here where I got the canister, I can hook my hose up to it and back flush it. So it's kind of like a swimming pool filter. I have the ability to back flush it. But yeah, that should be dated too when I got water, or maybe not water, but it should have been around the time that I got fish in it. I think I took a picture of it, because it was up and running for a while before I put fish in it. And then the canister was off of another tank. Nice, Sarah. I need more color in this tank. I really want to get some red devils. I think some red devils would look great in here with a couple of black ones, or black angels. The contrast would be really nice. Just a solid black and red devils. Then a pure black angel, and then maybe a couple marbles. See how long my my derpy airfish. Yeah, that's Diego. He's pretty well blind. Not quite, but he doesn't do well in low light situations. So, Alex, on the back of this tank, I'm gonna build a like an above tanks vlog filter type deal, where bog filter is filled on this side, and then it runs across the filter and gets dropped out over by the stump over here. It's like a little waterfall. I think I'm going to cut up one of my 55s to make it. I'm really confident I'm going to cut up one of my 55s to make it. So I don't know if I'm going to double plate it so I can make it 6 foot, or if I'm just going to run it as a 4-footer. But that is a pothos. So when I do that, I'm going to try to stretch that pothos across and help hide the glass side of it that you'll see. And I'm hoping to be able to grow lettuce in it and some other vegetables for my tortoises. I'd really love to be able to grow like romaine lettuce, and can't do spinach because it's bad for them. I'll find a couple other things that I can grow in there for them. Yeah, it can't be too big, because I have only got that much space, and I still need to have a little bit of grow height, because there's let's see, that backboard is a 2x6, and it butts up against another 2x6. So from that board, there's 6 inches up. But the light hangs down a little bit, which is about 2 inches, I think. So that gives me about 4 inches above that board. So it's probably going to be a long, shallow one, maybe 3 inches tall. And it'll probably overhang into the tank a little bit. And there's about, I think, 2 inches behind the tank. So it'll probably be maybe 6 inches wide by 3 inches tall or 4 inches tall, and by 4 foot long at least. I don't want to see the planters, and they're not custom enough to fit. It's possible I might end up painting the outside of the box the same green as the wall, so so it's less noticeable. Where am I putting the overhead sump at? There's only 8 inches of room above the top tanks. Yeah, he wants to go get in his bed. He's got one in here too, but it's not the same. So the whole design of this fish room always has to be function over how it looks. And space is a commodity that I can't afford to give up much of. I'm gonna let you guys hang with the fish for a little bit. I gotta mix up some brine shrimp before I forget, and then I don't have enough. So you probably end up hearing some watery sounds. you have to pee, that would be a good time. Who all peed themselves? We know Funk did, but besides him. Oh, nice. He does. So this is the second topless tank that they've been in for me. There's 2 rope fish in there. They were in a 55 before. If they really want to get out, they could. But I think being in the other 55, they could see both sides of the house. Or out both sides of the tank. So it might have affected how they behave. It's been so long since I made brine shrimp till just recently that all my salt has got moisture in it. Got a chopper up to use it. I really can't wait to be done building this room out so that I can have a slight bit more organization going on. More homes for things. still with me? Well, with the hang-on backs, they were probably trying to get up the flow. And it's not so bad. I do 2 containers. Um, Doing 2 containers, I don't have to put as much into one. So I run usually like a scoop and a half to a scoop. But I run them for 48 hours. So that means I can have or harvest every 24 hours out of them, or a little bit sooner if I need to. Which one? That guy right there? He got beat up by a Amazon puffer pretty bad. And then, yeah, he's got his short little pectoral leaf fins and whatever. I use the Ziss hatcheries, and I get my brain shrimp from Brain Shrimp Direct. Usually I try to get that higher hatch rate. The Brain Shrimp Direct hatches out a little bit smaller than Co-op's. Co-op has an extremely good separation on their eggs though. Yeah, that was part of it too. I don't know why it grew back like that. But the whole top half of it got hacked off basically. And it got all funky. So he's not a breeder, he's just a survivor is all. Which is really unfortunate because when he was young, he had a gorgeous red stripe up that dorsal fin. He's got a lot of nice blue markings in that marble on his cheeks. One of the females that I'm working with is also all jacked up from that puffer, but hers is like her tail fin got ate off, or part of it did. But she was a really nice looking angel before that. And that was the one puffer that I won from that auction. It took me months to get his teeth worn back down. And then he was doing fine. And all of a sudden he decided to go nuts on him. Yeah, I don't want to breed from him, though. There's too much chance that it might not have been. But the female, she was perfect for sure. And her finish is still perfect, but she got stunted from it. So she's not as big as she should be. And her tail is like half gone. So she only has the lower half of it. I don't know what made that pupper snap, because I mean I finally got his teeth worn down. I had him in a breeder box, feeding him scuds on sand, so he would attack the suds on the sand and chew them off. Put him in the tank. He was in the tank for like 3 months, and then I came home from work one day and the fish were all jacked up. Granted, I did have a similar problem with yo-yo loaches. I had some discus and angels and yo-yo loaches in the tank. One day, all of a sudden, they started sucking all the slime coat off of the discus, so I moved the discus. Then I needed space for grow out, so I started putting some angels in there. They started sucking the eyeballs out of the juvenile angels. It was a Amazon. Yeah. As soon as somebody sees you, though, Alex, they already know that that's your destiny. Sorry, I had to. Yeah, the yo-yo loaches, I really don't like them. After that encounter, I raised them up. They were spawning in the tank. Um, I wasn't gathering anything because it was a community tank, so I wasn't even trying. Yeah, they sucked the eyes out of the baby angels. They were about quarter size, and they didn't do it at first. They were in there together for a while, growing out the angels, and then all of a sudden they got a taste for the eyeballs, and like half my damn angels had to get culled because they only had one eye, or they had no eyes. And as soon as I seen that they were doing it, I pulled them. But at that point, it was already too late for like 200 angelfish. And one of the guys at the local pet store works with yo-yos. He hasn't been successful breeding them yet, so he was hoping to be successful with mine. Yeah, they were pretty brutal. Um, I see other people keep their yo-yos with discus and not have a problem. So I don't know if it was just one of them got a taste for it and then the other ones jumped on with it. And I think it was the big female because there was two males and a female, and she was just always massive until she would spawn. Then she'd be all slender like the males. Then she'd get massive again, and they'd spawn, and yeah. But even at that, after I figured out she was doing that, I didn't want nothing to do with raising them. I'd almost picked up some clown roaches for cheap, but I don't have a long term for them. Everybody I have right now, I can deal with long term, except for maybe the pike cichlids. They might be problematic down the road if they're not the right species. But if they are, I believe I have a place for them to go to. Even my koi, if I can get them to Christine, I'll probably try to get them to Christine. But if not, my sister's got a nice pond for them. But the one's a pretty nice, like a marble blue deal, or not marble, mirror blue. I'm not super up on the koi terms, but it's a pretty fish. And I'm gonna try to get away from the kois and stick to the shabumpkins and the fancies for the goldfish, because I do like my goldfish. I like a good derpy fish, which is why the polar blue cichlids in here, my little ping pong balls. So I just pulled like 100 eggs out of the orange Venezuelans this week, and probably like 75 eggs out of the black Schultz eyes today. Looks like at least 50% of the black Schultz eyes were dead, or fungus failed, not fertile. Um, and the orange Venezuelans, I think I've only got maybe a 25% hatch on them. Maybe. So we'll see how the fry does over the next couple of weeks. If they end up staying alive or if they dwindle away. Been doing baby brine and vinegar eels and some powdered foods. But right now it looks like the orange Venezuelan and the Schultz are trying to lay again. Fireballs are dancing. Pulse bandits are kind of showing some interest, not very much, but then 127s are dancing. Smudge spots are dancing. Albinos are. Salt and peppers. pretty much everybody's looking like they want to spawn. But I did do 95% water changes on every single gory tank tonight. See what I end up with tomorrow after work. Hey, Johnny. Are they in a tank by themselves, June, or are they in a community tank? Are you doing mops or are you doing glass? What do you have in there for cover? And what species of quarries? It depends on how many I end up with in spring. Um, right now, I think I've got pretty well every black angel that I've made spoken for, and maybe all the marbles too. The quarries, I don't know how that's going to turn out just yet. I don't normally raise them myself. Normally, I just leave them in the tank and let them, uh, procreate and do their thing. But the pandas and pygmies are the ones that do the most success for me doing that. Everybody else has been in not the right situation to be able to have fry. Lay on the glass by themselves. What species are they, June? Like salt and peppers, or I'm hoping they sell babies though if I can. Because I do need to start paying for this damn fish room. I still haven't pulled them yet. I need to get to that too. I've been busy trying to get all these tanks in and stuff, so for the most part, spawning's been on the back burners. I need to get one pair of blue glares down in with the goldfish and the other one in with the Nezzy swords, because they're both in 75s for now. Then yeah, see what hatches out of the sand, because they've been laying in the sand. I haven't seen them spawning them off yet. I've only seen them spawn in the sand. The moss has almost overtaken the whole tank though, so I'm hopeful that some of the eggs have gotten underneath that moss where they can't get it. And since I've started feeding a lot more baby brine, there's a better chance that if there are any survivors in there, that they're lurking up in that moss. And yeah, the tank that they're in really sucks. It's only half full. The light on it is meant for a 10 gallon, but it's covering 220 gallons. I still need to invest in 4 more 36-inch lights, and I think 10 more 48-inch lights. That's going to be, I think it's like around $2,000 for going with glorium. And if I went with fluval instead, that'd be around $4,000. Yeah. So far, I'm enjoying the glorium lights, so that's what's on this tank right now. The tank needs a water change, so she's got a bit of a yellowing to her. Yeah, I don't like the floodlights. I like the slow ramp. That depends on the light. If it's a cheap light, a couple of years. If it's a mildly expensive light, I suspect that you should get at least 5 or 6 years out of it. If it's a really expensive light, you realistically should get, I'd say 6 to 8 years, but in reality, most people only get 2 or 3, because they don't keep the fans clean, and then they overheat and they burn out. I don't need anything that fancy. I just need an app. The app is the only thing that I'm after. And right now, the cheapest light on the market with an app is a Glorium. There's another one that's kind of close, but it doesn't have the temperature feature that the Glorium does. So the $10, I think it is, differential isn't worth it. Because right now I can open up any one or either one of my lights, and I can see what temperature the tanks are. So if something's going sideways, I can have my wife come in and correct it for me if I can't be here. Higers came out with a new one. It's more expensive than a Glorium. And the frame on it isn't as nice. But I don't know about the app. I haven't used the app on it, so I don't know if it's more user-friendly or less user-friendly. I know that the Glorium is more friendly than the Fluval. Right now I have 75 tanks in here. I'm sorry there, Debs. How big are they? Are they big enough that they won't fit in another fish's mouth? Johnny, if you didn't see my last, I don't know if it was my last short, it was one of my recent shorts. I have kind of a quick pan through of all the tanks. I don't have the species or nothing like that. It's just more of a showing what's currently set up in the standings. If they're big enough and it's a good sized tank, there's probably going to be a little bit more microfauna in there. So it depends on what size tank you have them in now. If it's a good sized tank, then I'd probably just let them be. If it's a smaller tank and you have a lot bigger tank that you're moving them to, then that might be the better option. If there's not, if you're not moving 100 fry, if you're moving like a half a dozen or a dozen, it might be worthwhile. It also depends on if you're having somebody feed them while you're gone, which really I don't recommend, because usually people overfeed and kill the tank. Normally they're better off just not eating for a little while. I have very, very soft water, Johnny. It comes out at usually less than 30 TDS and about 5.9 pH. The big male? I could probably ship them. Not this time of year though. I could ship them in the spring. I sent 2 like that to Juanita. So I don't do anything to that water, and I run Caradinas in it. Or I'm sorry, Neo-Caradinas. There's something in the water that Neos don't like. I don't know what it is, if it's a little bit of copper or... And they'd probably be a little bit better off in the bigger tank because it's probably more established than the small one. So there's probably a little bit more microfauna for them to nibble on while you're gone. And realistically, they should be okay for a couple days, as long as they're not fried. Juveniles can handle it. Fry can't. They just can't. I think tomorrow night I gotta spend my night making mops. So, uh, Funk, that white angel is from a smudge spot clown pair. It's not from a koi pair, and it's a big male. Okay. I don't intend on using him to breed, so he just is. All right, have a good night, Johnny. I'm gonna be cutting out here shortly too, because I gotta be up in a couple hours. Okay. I'd say if they're like a quarter inch or bigger, you should be just good. Yeah, the pure blacks aren't in this one though. This one's a black marble. The pure blacks are in a breeder tank. Hopefully they'll be spawning again soon. Because I need to hatch at least one or two more batches out of them soon. That way they're ready to go in spring. I'd like to hatch them a little bit apart from each other, so that way it's like there's a group ready to go in spring and then a group ready to go early summer, and then not have any more after that. I don't mind doing local delivery when it comes to fall, but pretty much October, November through usually May, I really don't like shipping or receiving. Yeah, these guys will all fan their eggs, and they'll make them sticky heads. The the marbles hatched a batch, and they kept them sticky heads moving around a bit. Then ate them before they went free swimming. The blacks I didn't give a chance because I wanted the eggs. So the clowns have raised them all the way up to adults before. Because I left them in, or I left some in with them, so that way they wouldn't spawn. This time they're doing them to free swimming for a couple of days. It's like 2 nights, and then the second night they'll eat them after they're free swimming, or second to third night. I pulled the divider this time. I think I need to clean some more algae off so that way they can see the other fish better. But the first time that they were good parents, there was another pair of angels in with them. And I think that might have been what made them protect. So I was hoping that them just being able to see the other angels and a couple big snails in there would give them something to fight with, to feel like they had to protect them. So far, they haven't got their parenting skills all the way back yet, which is unfortunate. Because they were really good parents. It's just that when you get seal points, it's hard to sell them here. And I'd say darn near 50% is a low quality seal point. It's not a high quality. It doesn't have the nice Bulgarian fins. Oop. Looks like I lost connection for a second there. Oh really? They watch over them but don't fan them? That's weird. Alrighty, boys and girls. I really need to get a nap in. I gotta be up in about 3-4 hours. It's not gonna be fun. Thanks for hanging out with me. I definitely need more watch hours. That way Henry can be my only member. And he'll be all happy about it. But, alright. You guys have a good night. Try to get a nap in. Have a good day at work if you're going to work. And I'm sorry to hear about that, Debs. And I hope everything goes smooth for you while you're gone. Yeah. I don't know if I would either there, eh? Hopefully everything goes smooth for you, Debs, and you don't have any losses while you're gone. Everybody have a good night. See you in the streams tomorrow somewhere.